I'm here with Kevin from Bolshevik Victory. How are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
First question. Why did you start Bolshevik Victory?
I started Bolshevik Victory because I was working for several record labels in Jersey, and I was sick and tired of the way that they were actually mistreating the bands. It seemed to be that it was their business, and it was the music industry as a whole is just a giant money making scheme to try to rip off very very talented bands, and it seems that the musicians that do prosper more than some are the not so talented ones, i.e. Rebecca Black.
Friday.
So yeah, I was sick of the way that bands were getting treated, not really getting enough compensation for what they deserve. They're busting their hump out there, and they're not getting the recognition they deserve. So I started. I'm a musician myself, and growing in this, it was hard enough for me to get a name for myself as an established musician, and then after that, I'm like, you know what, it's time to help other people get in the same spot.
What do you hope to accomplish with Bolshevik Victory?
I hope to accomplish. One goal of mine is to get people back into the same old '80s punk rock mentality, where kids will come out to shows every weekend just for the sake of going to see a show. It seems to be nowadays that companies are instituting this ticket minimum policy, where bands will book a band A, say for 4 consecutive weeks, and they'll have like 20 tickets that they have to sell. They're financially liable. It comes to the point where the bands are selling the tickets to the same people that saw them the week before, and they start getting into trouble where they can't. The same people don't want to see them again because they saw them the week before, and it's nothing new. So it gets to a point where, all right, if you're gonna do this, the band won't get anywhere because they can't play the show because they can't sell the tickets. So it comes to a point where I'm trying to get people to come out to shows more just for the sake of seeing a show, supporting local music. And having bands actually just get out more and not have to worry about are we going to have to pay to play a show? It shouldn't be about that. You shouldn't have to spend money to play a show. You should, if anything, you should be getting money after you play a show through obviously your own merchandise. And then if you get enough tickets, people at the company will actually say, all right, good show, good job. Here's $20. That's what I want to accomplish.
What separates Bolshevik Victory from the other big labels?
Well, the other big labels focus on business, whereas Bolshevik Victory is not so much just a label as it is a. And when people ask me this, it's hard to really figure out what to call Bolshevik Victory. So I just figured I'd call it a arts entity. And what that means is we don't focus just on music as as people think, but like since it started as a music. Company organization, it makes sense. But we sponsor bands, artists, anything regarding art, and we record, book, manage, sign, the same deal. And we try to get them out so people can actually know who they are. They have a good expression. They have a good message they want to get out there. That's what we hope. Bands are taking it seriously, and we want them to be taken seriously and actually help them out. But what other labels, conventional labels, they just manage the bands, and then they'll put a percentage on everything a band does. They'll cover the entire cost of a band's recording sometimes. If a band's lucky, they get a deal where the label will actually pay for everything for them. But in return, the band gets nothing for anything they've ever made. They'll get no money. They'll get no recognition. So you'll have like a 10% cut for the band, which to a point could be like $5, which is nothing. Especially when bands are going on tour, they have to support themselves. They got to eat too. Band's got to eat. Person's got to eat. And some people sometimes they don't. They go without eating. They can't. They got to put gas in their tank so they can actually get around and play these places. Yeah, that's pretty much the difference.
Mm-hmm. What exactly does your label do for the bands?
What we do for the bands, well, the label side, we promote the bands as much as possible. Over the last, 7 years, I've built. I found I have some very very weird connection with people, and especially people in high places where I get good connections somehow. And I just just through talking to people, you always build connections, and always good to still have these connections, especially now when I started the company. It's you can always help a band out with little silly things like, all right, someone needs a photo, boom, hey, I got a band, so whatever. But basically, what we do, we promote the bands as much as possible, get them out there. Since we are a very very small company still, we do a very very localized setting, and then when it comes to crunch time, when a band needs to go on tour or something like that, then I reach out to people I know in outside places, Pennsylvania, New York, Delaware, whatever, and get them to go around there, and from there expand. The company is pretty much run by. I started the company and with my best friend and lead singer for my band, the Put Away, Colin Weimer, and the rest of the company is pretty much run by me and my band, Put Away. And through that, they all went to school in different places, so they've got different people that they know, and we have connections almost all over the country, it seems, at this point. So if a band needs to get somewhere else to play, like Denver or something, we easily get a band out to Denver with no problem. So, what we're still building. What we're trying to do, like we're still. I would say Bolshevik Victory still very much in the infancy stage, where we're still trying to build everything that we can do. Hopefully by the end of the year, a goal would be to add a established clothing line to the company, where we have local artists come actually be able to design T-shirts and sell them under whatever name. I mean, I don't think it's gonna be Bolshevik Victory clothing. It might be. I'll decide that way. That's not important. But yeah, we're trying to get the artists out there as much as possible, promote them, and obviously with the tied in, I'm an audio engineer, so any band or any person that's signed to Bolshevik Victory gets free recordings done through us, and that's mixing, mastering, pressing, and actually EP release or album release rather. So that's pretty much what we do. And book them for free and everything.
Yeah. What is the meaning behind Bolshevik Victory, like the name?
Well, I'm a big history nerd. Actually, before I was even into music, I was very, very much into just history overall. But I was more so into American history. But history always took. I always struck a fancy with it, and I don't know if anyone knows the Bolsheviks. The group called the Bolsheviks were a group of revolutionaries in Russia that pretty much started the Soviet Union, communism. And I didn't really. I just had to go through my head just the word Bolshevik Victory, and I just said that one day, and my friends thought it was hilarious because it was a pun or whatever. And I'm like, oh, this cool band, Bolshevik Victory, whatever. So whatever. When I started recording more so commercially, I decided to take up the name Bolshevik Victory Recordings, and I put out a friend of mine who I play in a band with now, Jimmy Ikeda. I'm in a band with him called the Marcoux character, and his first band, the Shade Plant Bandits, was my first full-length album that I recorded. My bedroom had there was 10 people, it's like Slipknot. There was 10 people in the band, all with different weird instruments like violin, flute, cello, piano, guitar, horns, all kind of things. It just 10 people packed into my really small bedroom with the very minimalistic recording gear that I had into the MacBook that I'd gotten 2 days before, and I plugged everything in. And we recorded everything on one track live in GarageBand. And he was asking me, what name do you want to put on this? You just say you can. It was engineered by Kevin Marcoux with Bolshevik Victory Recordings. So we did that, and the name just kind of stuck. And then I was recording people for the next 2 years after that under the name Bolshevik Victory Recordings. And then once everyone kind of left for college, I decided to that's when the whole Bolshevik Victory as a entity, the arts entity, kind of came to be, and it's straight away from less Bolshevik Victory Recordings, and then it became Bolshevik Victory Recordings and bookings. So I was booking shows then, and then it became, I'm going to do the label too, so it just became Bolshevik Victory. I just took off all the other surnames and said, all right, it's easier. I don't like spelling that much anyway, so just Bolshevik Victory makes it easy.
Yeah. What and or who is your inspiration?
I would actually say my inspiration, the inspiration for starting the label is an easy answer for me. That was definitely my buddy Jimmy Ikeda, who he's in the band Michael character with me. he was very much a big part of the DIY punk scene, which is still very much alive, but you don't see a lot of bands like it. Doing everything himself. Basically, he puts all of his money into his band, and then every time he has an album release show, every time he's an album, he will put like $1,000 into getting like this discs made and everything, and then give everything out for free. Which was the exact he saw that, and we decided, that's exactly the way it should be. You should be giving out your music for free. People will respect you that much more if you do that, and like the distance between audience and the band is like little to none, where there's just so much intimacy between the audience and the band. There, you can actually get along and sell more whatever you have, like merch and everything else, and get a bigger following. So he's definitely my inspiration with that. And before him, I was one of those hardcore kids who's like, I'm gonna get signed to Rise Records when I get older. I'm gonna love to get signed by fucking Victory, and I realized that no, I'm just not, it's not worth it, because they do nothing but take away your money and you get nothing in return.
Do you charge your bands anything?
Bands that are signed get charged absolutely nothing. In fact, I can tell you, Horizon Prevail's costing me so much money. They're no. It's I don't any band that works with me, I manage or resign. No, nothing. They get charged nothing. Their recordings are free. Every time if they book a show, obviously they don't have to pay anything. There's no ticket minimum, so no band really loses anything. They only gain stuff, and following whatever. Yeah, no, they don't get charged anything. I mean, they do give some generous donations every now and again, but no, we don't charge them anything.
How do you think that bands should be treated in a legal?
Well, I think there should be very little business when it comes to the music business, especially with the type of music that we deal so closely with, which is rock, hardcore, punk. More, I guess punk pretty much covers everything. It comes to a point where, like, all right, if you got a higher up, and then you got the band, and then you got like 10 different middlemen. And it gets stuff can get broken out of communication. And then it comes to a point where you don't even know who your manager is. Like, you're just serving someone else. Like, kind of like back in like 17th century, like, or even like ancient Rome, where you're just serving people you've never met before. Like, when you're slave or gladiator or whatever, just making money for people you have no idea. You got to be tight. You got to be a family. That's exactly what Balls of Victory is. We work with people who, or we want to work with people rather, who not only are going, we have like complete faith in their music and their want and need to do this for a living, but also we want to be able to have people that, hey, let's go play football, something like that. We bros essentially, even if they're women. If they're women's even better. One can only hope. But yeah, it's just a family. It needs to be a family. If not, then nothing works.
Yeah. How do you help your bands get their first start?
Well, basically, it's easier to work with. We don't, it's not like we just offer a band a record contract for anything. It's very rare that we ever offer anything. It's anything to anyone. But it's people with we know have a strong understanding, are doing things on their own already, booking shows, and are struggling. And it comes to a point that's exactly what I had to go through. Me and my boys had to go through. It's really hard. It's tedious and sometimes not rewarding. But you just enjoy it because it's music, and you sweat, you cry, you bleed, you whatever. But like at the end of the day, when you're on stage, it's probably one of the greatest feelings in the world, and I think every musician will be able to tell you that. But we try to get bands to realize that it's not that hard. It really isn't that hard, and it's just knowing the right people. This business is all about knowing the right people, And you got to find the people that you're close with, tell them the truth, and then people that you have to do business with, you have to completely put on the stone cold face where you're a businessman, where I have to take off the stupid hat, I have to take off my flannel, actually wear a nice suit and tie, which I never do, and actually talk to people and say, hey, look at $1 million contract. Yeah. I'll never be a millionaire, but I'm just saying. You know, they have to realize that like people that we want to work with bands that are already helping themselves, and with that they already have the goal in mind that they can do this, and basically the success of Bolster Victory, and I will say that a definition of success is different for every person. Our definition of success is that if a band is good on their own, where they have a strong following, they're going on European tours, they're going on cross-country tours, and they have no need for us. And if they have no need for us, they have no need for any other label. And if they can support themselves by, putting in the money to do their own stuff and still have enough to, eat at the end of the day, and then get rid of us completely and then just go on their own thing, that's our definition of success. They don't need it. The band does not need a label. What we do is we're a safety net for the bands to get them like a fresh kick in the pants, just so they can get up and get out and do more. And then when it gets to a point where people know who they are, where they can go to any show where every other little band is doing like 50 ticket minimums, and they're the headlining, and they don't have to sell anything, and they still have like 200 people come to see them anyway. They don't need any label. They're doing fine on their own. So it comes to a point where Bolster Victory does a lot less than the band does, which is the way it should be. The band should be self-sufficient, and basically we're there to help the band gain that that independence. That's our job.
And the final question: are you happy with the direction of Bolster Victory?
I honestly, I've never been happier in my entire life. I was just a regular kid playing shows, and then I decided to start this band with very very little hope that anything would ever come out of it, and all of a sudden it just exploded. I'm looking at it, and it sounds silly, but Facebook and the internet helped out a lot. I'm seeing people I've never even heard of before in my entire life, or commenting or emailing me. I get emails in my business email every day. It's like, hey, we're a band from Austin, Texas. We're looking to play through Jersey. We'll do some show trade and stuff. And it gets to a point where, all right, how do people from Austin, Texas know who the hell we are? Like, I barely know who we are, and it's interesting, and I'm actually really really happy, and all of us are everyone involved is we're ecstatic that we've only been in operation for such a short time, and it's gone to a point where I can never even imagine. So I'm really happy with it.
Well, congratulations.
No, thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.